With the WINN FM News, I am Kevin Brown.
And I am Yulana Weeks.
Our top stories.
The much-anticipated Sugar Mass Junior Carnival Parade set to make a grand return in 2025.
Eastern Caribbean Securities Exchange to host a third annual Regional Schools Investment Competition.
Alexandria Hospital Pharmacy reopens at original location after major overhaul.
Guyana and Oman sign air services agreement. St. Lucia's Prime Minister announces new cybersecurity training program. Internationally, anti-ICE messaging found at scene of deadly Dallas Immigration Center shooting. Now, the details.
The Junior Carnival Parade is set to make a vibrant comeback in 2025 on the backdrop of the theme Sweet to the Core Sugar Mass 54. To build excitement for the Junior Carnival Parade, the St. Kitts and Nevis National Carnival Committee launched a promotional tour across primary schools in St. Kitts. Clement Monarco-Garo, director of St. Kitts and Nevis National Carnival, speaking on WINN FM's Island Tea, shared the children's feedback from the tour.
Last week, yes, we had an exciting time. It was tiring, but very exciting. We visited 16 public primary schools in St. Kitts, 8 on Monday the 16th, and another 8 on Wednesday the 17th. And we, of course, were promoting the Junior Carnival Parade, which is scheduled to be held on the 27th of December this year, which is the normal Saturday, the last Saturday in December, when it's usually held. We got our prototypes, so we were able to showcase the actual costumes themselves.
The Junior Carnival Parade will spotlight several of the Federation's historical sites and cultural landmarks. Besides giving the children an opportunity to have fun and showcase their talents, they will be learning about their heritage.
This year we're depicting national treasures, and we're featuring sites and important historical venues in both St. Kitts and Nevis. So look out for Brimstone Hill, Independence Square, Berkeley Memorial, aka the Circus Clock, the Clowns, the Masquerade, and then we head over to Nevis, where we feature the Botanical Gardens, Hot Springs, and the Nevis Bathhouse.
In an effort to ensure that the Junior Parade is accessible to as many children as possible, the director of Carnival said costumes would be provided free of cost to the participants. He added that registration forms were distributed directly to schools to allow parents to register their children.
And I want to say thanks to Mr. Francil Morris, CEO of Education, who ensured that everything was set perfectly for the tour. We definitely appreciate their assistance in ensuring that, the tour went off in a way that it did. And I'm telling you, the students are all excited, they're hyped, and they're ready to go. And don't forget, for the parents listening, these costumes are all free to the kids. And we'll soon have more information as it relates to registration. Registration forms were left at the schools, along with a booklet with the pictures of all the prototypes, so you can choose which costume your kid wants to wear. And as I said, it's absolutely free. But we'll have more information coming soon, where you can register. If you're not if you're not registered at your school, there'll be other options as well that we'll utilize to register.
Shannon Hawley, chairperson of St. Kitts and Nevis National Carnival, expressed that in her committee's assessment of the 2024 hosting, bringing back the Junior Carnival Parade in 2025 was a priority. The event, scheduled for December 27, will be the responsibility of the Department of Youth to ensure its successful execution.
I think this year Junior Carnival definitely is coming back with a bang, and it was the intention of the committee from January. When we did our analysis of Sugar Mass 53, we at that point determined that it was so important to bring back Junior Carnival, bring back the energy associated with Junior Carnival and the tradition of Junior Carnival. So again, we have done the school tours, and we will be teaming up with the Department of Youth, who will be responsible for the execution of the actual Junior Carnival parade on the 27th, which is the day after Juve. So we're going straight from Juve into Junior Carnival. It is a busy weekend, a busy month, I should
Exactly.
say, for Sugar Mass 54.
The Carnival officials anticipate that the 2025 Junior Carnival Parade will be the most memorable one yet.
During a recent episode of ECCP Connect's Business Development Executive for the Eastern Caribbean Securities Exchange Limited, Yuluka Armani Brown shared details of the Eastern Caribbean Securities Exchange third annual Regional Schools Investment Competition. The competition is an initiative targeting the young people in the ECCU, equipping them with the skills, confidence, and knowledge to make sound financial decisions for the future. Armani Brown expressed the significance of the program.
The Eastern Caribbean Securities Exchange spearheaded an initiative in collaboration with its partners, the Eastern Caribbean Securities Regulatory Commission, as well as the 6 licensed member brokers, to essentially bring about this initiative, because we recognized that we needed to do more in terms of education, especially targeting young people. There are quite a lot of students we felt are not, they're not exposed to information about investment fundamentals, and they don't know much about the regional market that we operate. So we wanted to do more in terms of that, and so this idea was born, and this initiative was born to do that. We've seen a lot more excitement in terms of the students. They are obviously very interested in investing and learning how to build wealth. And so we've seen a lot more interest in terms of both students and teachers even reaching out to us to learn more about how they can get involved in investing. So that is one of the aims that we had. And the students are also generally more inspired and in terms of looking at career opportunities in the field of investing.
The students can expect a deeper understanding of investment and securities as a part of the initiative.
First, we provide them as a precursor to the competition. There's an investment education webinar, and so the students have to participate in that just to get general information about securities, the difference between investing and saving, the types of financial security products in the market, and of course to learn more about how our market operates across the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union. So they get that information, and then of course they get first-hand experience in actually thinking about how do I analyze whether or not I should invest in this security versus another security. So they get hands-on experience in terms of the world of investing, trading, what goes behind decision, strategy making in terms of investing. In terms of what they're required to do, so they meet as a group in their schools, and they would analyze, they would get information related to the company in terms of their financials. We also issue market news on a daily basis. So they would look at these things to analyze, the company itself, the environment, what is the market saying, and then they determine how they'd like to purchase or sell particular securities. They generally come up with some sort of strategic approach in the beginning, so that's something that they do at their first meeting. So once the approach is aligned in terms of investing in particular securities, but aligned with the strategy, then that's something that they would do, and they would then put through their purchase or sales order to the broker-dealer to place the trade.
The business development executive explained the eligibility and logistics of the competition, including the prizes to be won.
In terms of eligible participants, we target 3rd and 5th form students throughout the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union. The one group per school, and we have about 4 to 6 students per group. So minimum 4 students, maximum 6 students per group. So 3rd to 4th form students as well as first year college students. And we've already written to the Ministries of Education. This is something that the Ministry of Education have endorsed. And so we've notified them. The registration is actually open now. And so the schools, the Ministry of Education has been assisting us in circulating the information to the various schools. And those interested could then there's an online registration on the ECSC website. That's ecsconline.com, where it has the information page, it has the link to register, etc. So anything about the information you can find on that page. And we encourage persons to start registering now. The deadline is 3rd of October.
And what's in store for the winners?
Oh, so some great things are in store. I just want to mention too, because this is our 3rd year, This year is a little different. The first 2 years, the format of the competition, it was run in 2 phases, an intra-country phase and a regional phase. In this time around, we decided to just have the regional phase because both Anguilla and Montserrat was a little disadvantaged because they don't have one secondary school. So we decided all schools will compete across the region to vie for regional champion. We've also increased the prize, so the school will receive $6,500. The students will receive, each of the students will receive $540 investment, worth of investment, so they could determine whether they'd like to use that to invest on any of the securities listed on the Securities Exchange. We also have 2 mutual funds that are licensed to operate in our market, so they can also choose to invest in a mutual fund as well. So that's to get them started. And of course, they have goodie bags, they have certificates that they will receive, as well as a rotational trophy. We've kind of increased the price for the runner-up, given that we're not having the country phase. And so the runner-up the school will also receive cash prize of $3,000. The students will receive an investment prize of $270. And I forgot to mention in both cases, the regional champion, as well as for the runner-up, the teachers will also receive a waiver of broker fees for their first investment. So we're obviously trying to encourage persons to get into investing, because even though saving and budgeting are very important, but saving is more preservation of wealth. Investing is, of course, building and creating wealth so that you could reach your financial goals faster.
The competition on a regional scale focuses on opportunities for investment in the region to build the ECCU's stock market as a viable means of generating wealth in the region.
Well, first of all, the market is a regional market. It's licensed to operate in throughout the ECCU, and all of us market players, the ECSC, the commission who regulates the entire market, and of course the broker dealers. And I just want to mention the broker dealers here. So the 6 licensed broker dealers are First Citizens Investment Services, Bank of St. Lucia Limited, Bank of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Grenada Cooperative Bank Limited, St. Kitts Nevis Anguilla National Bank, and Bank of Nevis Limited. So all of us, we're licensed to operate in this region. So it's just appropriate that we extend this competition to all of the students across the region, because that's who we target in terms of the populace. That's who we're trying to develop and ensure that they have the education and tools that they need to take advantage in investing.
Harmony Brown says the hope is that the competition will inspire the youth to learn more about investing and to get involved in investment careers, such as becoming financial advisors, broker-dealers, or entrepreneurs who list on the exchange.
So we just hope to inspire them, and also we hope that they also share this information with the teachers and their parents and inspire everybody to learn more about investing. We really need, we have generally a buy and hold and conservative culture, and so it really takes a change in culture to realize that persons, you don't have to have a lot of money to start small in terms of investing and to make your money work for you, essentially. Yes. So we're hoping that they will be the future investors. Mm-hmm. Yes, and not just investors, but also they will have the companies that will then list on the exchange, because obviously the exchange is also important for companies to raise capital. And so overall, this will be down to the benefit of the entire region.
Interested individuals are encouraged to visit the Eastern Caribbean Securities Exchange website at ecsceonline.com for more information.
The Alexandra Hospital Pharmacy officially reopened its doors at the original location following a comprehensive overhaul prompted by a mole infestation discovered there in 2024. The facility was temporarily closed to allow for extensive remediation and upgrades to ensure safety of all stakeholders and medications. During the renovation works, the pharmacy was relocated to a temporary section on site to ensure uninterrupted service to the public. At the alternate section, the staff worked diligently while adapting to the challenges of operating in a much smaller space. On the September 18 edition of Government at Work, Nevis's Minister of Health, Janelle Nisbet, explained that the upgraded pharmacy now boasts improved storage systems and enhanced infrastructure designed with safety and efficiency in mind.
At our pharmacy, we've recently done a massive overhaul at our pharmacy. where we gutted the entire pharmacy, put in new cabinets, new storage facilities, new paint, new professional medical grade flooring in the pharmacy. So just last week, we would have relocated back into our primary pharmacy. So if individuals are at the hospital and searching for the pharmacy, we're back in the new and upgraded space, safer for our employees, better for our patients to come in and get their medication.
The pharmacy's upgrade is but one of several renovation works undertaken at the island's premier health facility. Nisbet expressed that the government remains committed to ensuring the well-being of individuals who rely on health services.
In regional news, Guyana and Oman sign air services agreement, News Source Guyana reports.
In the aviation sector, Guyana and the Middle Eastern state of Oman on Monday signed an air services agreement to encourage and facilitate airlines operating air services between the two countries, as well as to other nations. The signing ceremony took place in Montreal, Canada, on the sidelines of the 42nd International Civil Aviation Organization Assembly. The agreement was signed by the Director General of Guyana Civil Aviation Authority, Egbert Field, and Naif Ali Al-Abri, the Chairman of the Oman Civil Aviation Authority. In addition to the standard articles on designation of airlines, the agreement also covers application of laws and regulations, cooperative agreements and arrangements, tariffs, recognition of certificates and license, aviation safety, aviation security, use charges, and other areas. The head of Guyana Civil Aviation Authority, Egbert Field, said the agreements are necessary and create the legal foundation that will help Guyana realize the President's vision of Guyana becoming an international hub for air connectivity, more so with the construction of a modern Terminal B at the Chedi Jagan Airport. There are currently no direct flights between Guyana and Oman. However, the agreement provides market access for airlines to operate and improve competitive air transport services, trade, and economic growth between the two nations. Oman Air, one of Oman's national airlines, operates in at least 22 countries and serves over 37 destinations worldwide, including flights to Africa, the Far East, Europe, the Indian subcontinent, the Gulf Cooperation Council countries, the Middle East, and North Africa. It is expected that the agreement will encourage interest from Omani airlines to consider including Guyana in their network. The agreement complements the more than 50 air services agreements that Guyana currently has established with other international civil aviation states to develop air connectivity among those countries.
St. Lucia's Prime Minister announces new cybersecurity training program at DBS St. Lucia.
With the increase in Ponzi schemes and online platforms where citizens' financial information is being breached, the Prime Minister highlighted a need for increased financial literacy and cybersecurity training programs to be implemented. The aim of such initiatives is to protect citizens' financial assets from being stolen and curb such criminal tendencies.
The Cabinet of Ministers has approved the implementation of a Cyber Nations cybersecurity training program in St. Lucia, with an initial cohort of 100 learners. Cybersecurity is a rapidly growing field with significant shortage of skilled professionals.
The Prime Minister spoke of the need for sectors to increase their digital security so potential fraud and hackers may be detected early. With the advent of artificial intelligence and deep faking, he says it makes it difficult to discard cyber attacks. Mr. Pierre, who is also the island's Minister for National Security, encourages citizens to be part of this empowerment training exercise.
The program is designed to equip participants with the technical knowledge and industry-recognized certifications and hands-on skills necessary for successful careers in cybersecurity. Let me give you some details of the program. The duration is 6 months. The delivery is remote learning with lectures, self-paced modules, and up to 3 in-person sessions, orientation, mid-program, and graduation.
Protexia, the company which will mobilize the program, has experience equipping persons with the tools needed to combat cyber fraud and scams in the digital sector. A cohort of 100 persons will be certified in cybersecurity at the conclusion of the program within the next 6 months. For the DBS News World, Manasseh Stanislas reporting.
We now bring you these international reports.
There's been a deadly gun attack at an immigration center in the U.S. city of Dallas. Officials say a gunman opened fire at the Texas facility before killing himself. The incident follows a string of attacks on such facilities across the U.S. in recent months. Well, let's cross now and speak to our North America correspondent, Nomia Iqbal. And Nomia, what more do we know?
Well, the FBI has said that on the casings of the bullets, there were anti-government messages. But despite the FBI saying that, officials are saying they don't know the exact motive. There was some confusion earlier, Mariam. So the Department of Homeland Security has given an update. They say that apart from the gunman who died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound, there were 3 other victims, 2 detainees at ICE were killed and another's in a critical condition in hospital. And just to remind, ICE is the Immigration and Customs Enforcement. It's the US federal agency primarily responsible for enforcing US immigration laws. There's a lot of controversy around their tactics at the moment, and it's led to many politicians, particularly on the right, the Republicans, saying that there needs to be a toning down of the temperature when it comes to ICE. But as I say, there hasn't been any, we don't know yet exactly what the motive is of the shooter.
And we were talking, weren't we, about there being a spate of these kinds of incidents as well?
Well, this facility, actually, back in July, there was an incident where a man was arrested for trying to go in with, well, he said that he had, just looking at the details now, that he had tried to bomb the facility, and 10 people have been charged in connection with that. But, you know, overall, ICE, as I say, has been a very controversial agency in this country. The ICE agents often are, they cover up, they cover their faces. We've seen that in DC. They say to protect their identities. And they have been responsible for carrying out this really aggressive plan of Donald Trump to carry out mass deportations, in many cases targeting people, immigrants who don't have any criminal records. So sort of going back on what Donald Trump had said initially in terms of who he wanted out of the country. And it's created a lot of fear in many immigrant communities. But just to give you some reaction, J.D. Vance, the vice president, and many other members of the Trump administration are saying that there's been this attack, this targeting of law enforcement, particularly on ICE, and it must stop. But just to reiterate, we don't know as of yet what the actual motive was of the shooter.
Nomia, thank you very much.
Italy's defence minister says a Navy frigate has been sent to assist a flotilla carrying aid to Gaza. The flotilla is reported to have come under drone attack off the coast of Crete. The people on board posted this on social media. The global Samud flotilla said more than a dozen explosions were heard around the flotilla as it sailed off Greece late on Tuesday, with damage caused by unidentified objects dropped on deck. Some of those on board recorded messages. Here's one of them.
We just heard another attack right now. We know of 5 vessels that have been attacked by a bomb. You can clearly hear it, and again another bomb was released. We do not know which vessel it is at this very moment. Raise the alarm. We are in international waters carrying only humanitarian aid. We have no weapons. We pose no threat to anyone.
The Greek Coast Guard says a European Union Borders Agency patrol boat had approached one vessel and saw no evidence of damage. But let's speak now to Dr. James Smith, a British A&E doctor who, as part of the flotilla crew, had to return back to the UK, but is, I understand, still in contact with colleagues aboard the ship. James, good to see you. What have they told you? What's been happening?
So, Lucy, last night, a series of what appear to be coordinated attacks, I believe now 15 attacks on the flotilla. The flotilla now comprises about 40 vessels, most of which are small sailboats, 2 slightly larger motorboats, all of which, as you just heard from that clip, are carrying humanitarian aid, water, food, medicine. I myself was with the flotilla for about 2.5 weeks. I was on several of these boats, and I can attest to exactly that. These boats are crewed by regular folks from the world over, lawyers, doctors, nurses, teachers, and so on. What we know about what happened last night, so we were still trying to get to the bottom of exactly what was used against the boats, but a series of quadcopters were flying very close to the boats and dropped onto several vessels what looked like flashbangs, very loud noise, very bright light, often used to disorientate and to intimidate. And then, of course, the communications line was jammed. The VHF radio, which is used for emergency communications, started playing music by the Swedish band ABBA. We believe that this might well be due to the peculiar fixation of the Israeli state on the participation of Swedish national Greta Thunberg.
Given that the amount of aid on board the flotilla is so small, when the scale of need is so large, James, what was your motivation for being on board, for being part of the flotilla?
Look, I mean, I don't think that anyone on the flotilla feels that the amount of aid will make a significant dent on the material conditions. This is a population of more than 2.1 million Palestinians who are being subjected to genocide. The focus of the flotilla is not only to bring aid, but to draw attention to Israel's atrocities in Gaza, Israel's flagrant breaches of international law, and the failure of what's left of the international community to uphold its collective legal, political, and moral obligations. We know that direct action flourishes where political and legal systems fail to uphold the most basic values, the most foundational commitment to human rights. And the flotilla is doing what states have refused to do. Israel is perpetrating genocide against the Palestinian people, and it is incumbent upon all states, per the terms of the Genocide Convention, to act to break Israel's illegal siege. And really, that's the primary focus of the flotilla, to continue to draw attention to what Israel is doing to the Palestinian people in Gaza.
And James, in terms of your job as an A&E doctor, we have been hearing from 2 Australian doctors, surgeons who are working in Al-Shifa. They are barely functioning there. They describe just horrific conditions that they're having to operate in. And of course, so much of the rest of the infrastructure within Gaza has collapsed as well. I know that you've worked inside Gaza. I mean, what are you hearing from other colleagues who are in there at the moment?
Much the same as what you've just described. I mean, the situation in Gaza deteriorates day on day. Israeli forces have invaded Gaza City, where there was still some functioning healthcare facilities, some bed capacity. The Israeli tanks are now very close to Al-Shifa hospital. People, of course, being forced to flee towards the south. In the last couple of days, PMRS clinics have been repeatedly targeted, the Palestine Medical Relief Society, ongoing attacks on Palestinian healthcare and humanitarian workers, and of course on the entire population of Gaza, and still no tangible action from the so-called international community to end Israel's ongoing atrocities.
James,
this situation is just beyond horrific, Lucy.
Yeah.
Shares of Lithium Americas more than doubled Wednesday morning after Reuters reported that the Trump administration is seeking up to a 10% stake in the miner. It's the latest sign of Washington's intervention into industries it considers critical to national security. Late Tuesday, Reuters reported the proposed stake was part of negotiations over a nearly $2.3 billion loan from the U.S. Department of Energy for the company's Thacker Pass lithium project. Located in Nevada, Thacker Pass is the largest planned lithium mine in the Western Hemisphere. Canada-based Lithium Americas said on Wednesday it was in discussions with the U.S. Energy Department and General Motors over the loan. GM has a 38% stake in Thacker Pass. The move underscores President Trump's increasing use of direct government ownership to steer strategic sectors and curb reliance on China, which dominates refining of many critical minerals. Thacker Pass is seen as a linchpin in building a domestic supply chain, part of Washington's long-standing drive to boost U.S. production of lithium, a metal used to make batteries for electric vehicles and other electronics. The news also lifted shares of other lithium miners, including Albemarle, Sigma Lithium, and U.S.-listed shares of SQM.
Scenes of widespread devastation in Taiwan's Hualien County as the strongest storm of the year struck. Typhoon Ragasa brought torrential rains to the area, causing a lake formed by debris from a landslide a few months ago to overflow, resulting in deaths and injuries.
The flood came rushing from the direction of the Matayan Bridge, like a tsunami. Luckily, I evacuated early.
People in Hong Kong woke to the sound of hurricane-force winds as Typhoon Ragasa swiftly approached the financial hub.
The sound of the wind was intense, not like previous typhoons. It made a loud banging sound.
Authorities had urged people to be on high alert amid strong winds and heavy rain. Some business premises were damaged and hundreds of fallen trees lined the streets. Dozens of people were injured and hundreds sought emergency shelter. But many told Al Jazeera the administration had prepared well, and despite the strength of the storm, there was no major damage.
As Typhoon Ragasa moves away from Hong Kong, authorities are still urging people to be on alert. Heavy rains, strong winds and waves are expected to continue, particularly along the eastern and southern coasts.
Witnesses also captured scenes of flooding in neighbouring Macau. Power supplies in low-lying areas were cut off. In mainland China, authorities ordered businesses and schools to shut as Typhoon Ragasa lashed Guangdong province in the south, causing mass evacuations. Scientists say climate change is warming oceans and making major storms more frequent and powerful. Jessica Washington, Al Jazeera, Hong Kong.
You were listening to the WINN FM 98.9 newscast. Our top stories were:
the much-anticipated Sugar Mass Junior Carnival Parade set to make a grand return in 2025.
Eastern Caribbean Securities Exchange to host a third annual Regional Schools Investment Competition.
Alexandria Hospital Pharmacy reopens at original location after major overhaul.
Guyana and Oman sign air services agreement. St. Lucia's Prime Minister announces new cybersecurity training program. Internationally, anti-ICE messaging found at scene of deadly Dallas Immigration Center shooting. Thank you for listening.